On Monday, November 9th, 2020, Pfizer made an amazing announcement that they had achieved successful results of a 90% success rate with a coronavirus vaccine. This news should have been greeted with joy by the incoming Biden administration supporters, but instead they reacted with adamant outrage that President Donald Trump not be given credit for this vaccine. The attack line went out today that Donald Trump could not be credited with developing this vaccine because Pfizer is a privately owned company. They ignore the fact that the CDC coordinated with Pfizer and signed contracts to distribute a vaccine once it was developed. To understand why the Democratic Party is so adamant that Donald Trump cannot be credited for the creation of a vaccine, despite his early efforts to warn the American public of the dangers of coronavirus, we have to go back 2 months ago. 2 months ago, President Donald Trump predicted that we would soon develop a vaccine for coronavirus. Trump's critics said that Trump was lying. They said Trump was a mad dictator and he was lying about a vaccine which was soon to arrive. Leading up to Election Day, Kamala Harris and New York Governor Andrew Cuomo gave repeated interviews stating that they could not trust Trump's announcements on a vaccine, and if a vaccine was released, they would not trust it as something that would be safe to take, simply because President Trump promoted it. Even today, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo repeated this charge, that he wishes the vaccine had not been developed during the presidency of Donald Trump, and that he would only feel safe taking the vaccine if President Joe Biden was administering it. Why is it that this narrative is so important to the Democratic Party? Why do they need to create a narrative at all? Haven't they defeated Donald Trump? Why do they continue to feel the need to control how news is reported? The reason goes back to how they dismissed Trump's claim 2 months ago as a lie. Think about it. 2 months ago, the Democratic Party screamed that Trump was a liar for saying a vaccine was on the way. The same thing to do today, the Monday this result was officially announced by Pfizer, would be to apologize to President Trump, admit that they were wrong 2 months ago, accusing him of lying about a vaccine, and that they should look forward to Joe Biden's unifying administration. So when you see leftists insisting that Trump couldn't possibly have anything to do with Pfizer having a vaccine ready to go on November 9th, 2020, remember that it's because Trump's critics are too ashamed to apologize for assuming Trump was lying 2 months ago when he said a vaccine was on the way. Trump was acting to assure a nervous public, yet Democrats wanted the public to stay fearful, panicked, and ready to elect a different president. Calming their fears would undo the message of Joe Biden. The Democrats have to score one last win against Trump, even though he's presumably defeated. These are the very definition of sore winners. The Democrats lied to America about a vaccine. They lied to your relatives about a vaccine because they wanted them terrified out of their minds and voting Democrat. Democrats need Americans to always be agitated, fearful, and agonizing over how they are doomed without Democrat leaders to save them. That's why they are pushing this narrative that the American public can only trust a vaccine if it's Joe Biden dishing it out. This narrative was so pervasive that they actually mentioned it during a Saturday Night Live Kamala Harris sketch, where the actress insisted she would not take any vaccine developed by President Trump. Democrats did not want Americans to be calmed down 2 months before the election about coronavirus. It would not have served their purposes in turning out the vote for Joe Biden. This was a sick attitude by the Democratic Party, because power is the only thing they worship. Power is the only thing that the Democratic Party respects, and power is the goal that they have at the end of the 2020 election.